Hello there, everybody. Welcome to our first inaugural college catch-up with myself and my colleagues from the Education Partnerships team at Newcastle College. Hello.
Hi.
Right. So the first subject we thought we could talk about is something which I know everybody talks about, but it's the new normal. Okay. Right. So the new normal. We wanted to share. Well, in terms of the actual podcast, we wanted to share our ideas and thoughts with our colleagues across the schools and organisations in the North East region and beyond. We'll be discussing topics relevant to careers teachers and careers professionals relating to working with students who are progressing from school into further education, apprenticeships and higher education. So we just really wanted to share our thoughts with you. So who are we? Well, we're the Education Partnerships team at Newcastle College. Our roles as schools liaisons is to engage with young people in schools and organisations to help them with their transition into FE and into HE. Okay, so this episode's subject, under normal circumstances, we'll do our job by attending careers fairs, delivering assembly workshops across campus. Obviously, things are a little bit different at the moment, and that's what this episode is going to be all about. We're going to have a chat about how the pandemic has changed our team's way of working and what we've done and what we're doing to try and help schools and organisations continue to provide excellent IAG to their students. So what we'll do now is we'll introduce ourselves. And so without further ado, can each of you tell me your name and one interesting thing you've done in the past week and one interesting thing you've been doing outside of work? So should we start with myself? Yeah, might as well. Right. So what I've been doing is recently is I've been filming a really exciting video with the engineering department about their provision. So I've got a colleague who works there called Mel, who's very, very lively and very chatty. And he gave me some really good insight into what it's like to work in engineering as a career and his career, and also gave me really good access to the workshops and the CNC machines and everything else. So when that video has been put together, it's going to be a fantastic video, and I'm really looking forward to sharing it with everybody. And in terms of personally, I'm currently studying for a PGCE, and I did my first virtual lesson the other day, which was really exciting. And there were some teething problems, but it went pretty well. So I'm quite happy with that, and it's all good practice, isn't it? So yeah. So Katie.
Yeah, so I'm Katie, and this week I've been working on a really exciting video with Catherine about our university centre, which showcases the different types of degrees that we do here. So that video is currently being edited and it should be out live very soon, which is really exciting. Outside of work, usually I'm part of a football team. Obviously that's on pause at the moment, so I really need to try and keep my fitness up. So Kat has been trying to motivate me to do some running outside of work. So on a Thursday after work, we've been going for a socially distanced 5k to try and keep my fitness up, which has been fun. No, I've really enjoyed it, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, you sent some WhatsApp photos, didn't you? If you look very puffed out.
I don't know what you mean. It was easy.
It's not my bag.
we know.
Yeah, sorry. Chris?
Yeah.
Right, so in college, at work, recently we've had Colleges Week, and I've really enjoyed going around our satellite sites. I went up to the airport, to our Aviation Academy, down to Wallsend, to our Energy Academy, and down to our Automotive Academy, which is about two miles away from here, as well as being on our main campus. I got to meet lots of our students, sort of chat to them about, their courses, how they've started, and I got to get loads of footage of sort of things that were going on within the classrooms, and looking at how our staff have really adapted to social distancing in the classroom, and also how to sort of manage, through the pandemic, which is COVID-19. So that was something that I've really enjoyed, sort of from a work perspective. From a personal perspective, I've done a lot of walking, because there isn't really a great deal of other things to be doing. But I've really enjoyed it. And as you know, I'm a bit of a history, and I do know that that's historic. So we went for a walk to Low Hawksley, which is just sort of near Amble, and there's a beach there which has a 7,000-year-old ancient fossilized forest, and it comes from a time where we used to be sort of connected to Denmark, sort of Scandinavia, and that's been separated through the years, and there's actually fossilized footprints of human remains and stuff. So that's something that I've done recently, and obviously, as you can imagine, I was wandering around the beach in absolute awe of these fossilized tree stumps. But look, it was
Thanks, Chris. That sounds very exciting, right, Kat?
Hi. So I am Catherine. Pretty similar, really. I've been working very closely with Katie over, the last few weeks. So we have worked on a few videos together, which has been really good. Both from writing scripts to actually, recording the video, trying to keep a steady hand when you're doing that, but also present within a video. So sort of getting used and working on all of those skills. I'm also planning some new videos as well with a couple of different subject areas within the college. So we've got them in the planning stages. So that's been really good. Just keeping in contact with the curriculum areas within the college has been quite important, to make sure that they understand we're still here and we're still working, but just in a little bit of a different way. Personally, not as exciting as Chris, unfortunately. But yeah, as Katie mentioned, Katie and I are running on a Thursday evening. I'm just aware that, during this new lockdown, it's the dark nights have set in, and you do feel a little bit limited as to what you can do. So to be able to, to run together in a safe way, a lovely run along the quayside just as the sort of dusk's coming in. It's just a nice thing to do at the end of a working day. Gets you out, even though it's dark. You're with someone else, you feel safe, and it's a very pretty place to be at that time of night. And I've also organised a couple of head torch walks with a friend. I'm going out tonight. We're going to go to the Prudhoe Country Park tonight, with the head torches on. Me and Lindsay will have a little wander around there. So so a little bit of an adventure, but again, just while it's dark, trying to keep active and be out in nature, I guess.
Great. Okay. Right. Thanks very much, everybody. So we're going to go on to our first section. We're going to look at kind of challenges faced over the past few months. So we're currently recording this particular podcast in a lockdown 2, as I like to call it. Lockdown 2, the revenge.
2.0.
Yeah, 2.0. Yeah, that's what some people call it, aren't they? Yeah. So it's November 2020. So that gives you a bit of context there. What are everyone's thoughts when we first went into lockdown in March? What were everyone's thoughts at the time? Can you remember what was different straight away? And what did you find challenging in the first few weeks? Katie, did you want to start with that?
Yeah. So going back to the first lockdown feels like a long time ago now. I think, like pretty much everybody, nobody knew how long this was going to last, and I think we were all a bit naive to think that a few weeks and it'll all have blown over and we'll all be back to normal. And obviously we're in November and we're still here. So I think back then we had a lot of school visits planned in where they would normally come into the campus and would show them around, and they'd have different taster sessions. And we had a lot of those in the pipeline, which unfortunately we did have to cancel. But at that time, when we went into the first lockdown, we weren't sure of that. So it was really hard to, keep organised and know exactly what it is that we should be doing.
Yeah.
So that was a big challenge. But I think going forward, with all of the kind of contingencies that we've put in place, all of the virtual work that we've been doing to create new resources has really worked to our advantage, because I think going forward we can use that a lot more. Definitely. Especially when we can start going back into schools and engaging with young people again.
Yeah, great. Okay. Chris?
For me, it's probably a little, it's similar to Katie's, but slightly different from more of a personal note. I think what I struggled with during lockdown was self-motivation and having purpose. Like, I don't think anyone actually realised how exciting getting up and going to work was. It was just part of your daily thing that you did. It was just get in the car, go to work until it stopped. And I'm an extrovert. I like to be out there. I like to be talking to colleagues. You know what I like in the office? We like to be. We have good banter. And we generate ideas, and that kind of stopped. I really struggled with that. So I think that's what I did at the time was give myself little personal goals to try and achieve. So in lockdown, you know, at first it was struggles. Then I said to myself, okay, let's achieve something for the next few months. And through that, I set myself little goals each day. And for mine, it was lifting weights and trying to change my body composition. And those personal goals really did help me work motivation. So the work-life balance was still kind of there. Yeah. And then moving into this lockdown, I've kind of just adopted the same attitude in terms of, to be fair, we can still come into work, so it's slightly different in itself. But from a perspective of there's nothing really else to do, is I've got them same goals in place. How can I change my body in these next 4 weeks? So that really does help my sort of work motivation is having those personal goals. And obviously, let's not forget what homeschooling was like. For all the parents got the homeschool out there, I mean, wow. I was a maths teacher for 4 months and I was just really good at it.
I forgot about that, I know.
Oh, well, there you go. I haven't forgotten about it. It scarred me. No, but yeah, I think, like I say, mine was probably like just sort of self-motivation, that purpose coming into work. And I think you take it for granted, and I certainly did, until you could no longer do it. So it's nice to be able to come into work in the second lockdown and have our job to do. So yeah.
Kat, have you got anything to add there?
Yeah, I think probably what was maybe slightly different for myself was feeling very responsible for the team that I work with and thinking, wow, you know, that sense of panic of how do I keep them motivated and engaged when we can't actually do the normal day to day. So I think for me, initially it was less about myself and more about how do I keep, like, you know, our team motivated and working on things that make us feel purposeful. And again, I think naively we did think, oh, it'll be a couple of weeks, and we were like picking up, you know, little bits of online training and, you know, things that could really, I guess, pass the time for the first few days. And then after that, when the reality actually set in, it was like, whoa, okay, you know, I now feel really responsible for a group, you know, a fantastic group who are so outgoing, who are not going to be, you know, out there doing their day to day and sort of trying to think of, right, what can we do now to continue to feel purposeful in a very different way. So yeah, I think for me, for probably the first couple of months, I wasn't really thinking about myself. It was very much about the team. And then probably after that, you know, then, like you say, those highs and lows of today I feel good, today I'm not so motivated, and so on.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I am quite into like technology and stuff like that. But to be honest, the thought of having to do these kind of like video type things and all this technology stuff and meetings virtually and stuff filled me with absolute dread, and I probably hated it for the first 2 months. But the more you kind of like forced to do it and have to do it and like see the benefit of it, the better you get at it, the more comfortable you are. And to be honest, now it's absolutely fine, which is really weird because at first I absolutely, you know, really didn't feel comfortable doing it. So that was a real challenge. But I think the fact that everyone's been in the same boat and everyone's almost been like learning at the same time has definitely helped, and everyone's like helped each other and picked up ideas from each other and things like that. So that was definitely a challenge. And also there's always that kind of worry, isn't there, about kind of like how can we still engage and offer a level of service to the schools and to the organisations to help the students, you know, but do it in a different way. And that was always kind of like has always been in the back of all of our minds, I think, about in terms of challenges, you know, what can we do to help those people? Yeah. So on to the next subject, which is all about kind of communication. So kind of really just like, how has communicating been with your colleagues in schools over the past few months? What types of things have you been using? What have you found been effective? And what have teachers and careers professionals been asking for, and in what format? I know that's quite a mouthful and quite a lot to think about, but just generally kind of like how have you been keeping in contact with people, and what have people been asking for? Katie, do you want to start again?
Yeah, can do. So communication wise, I think I'm in regular contact with all of my schools and organisations. And the main thing that gets requested is something like a pre-recorded assembly or a live assembly presentation.
Yeah.
So basically, we've been sending those out quite a bit, and they've been really popular. But also communication-wise, trying to keep everybody up to date with what's going on. Obviously, everything's changing all of the time. So one thing that we all do is send out the half-termly newsletter, which has got different links and stuff on, and it just kind of keeps everyone up to date generally. And then obviously we've got the emails, phone calls, Zoom calls as well with schools, and contacts in between as well. So it's been a really a big mixed bag, I would say. But yeah, that's probably the main one for me.
Is there anything you've been particularly asked for?
Yeah, I'd say the pre-recorded assembly, just focusing on what life is like as a college student, what kind of courses can we offer, what makes us different, and also a bit about apprenticeships as well. So kind of like the general thing as well.
Great, good, yeah. So I found that I thought that probably live assemblies will be popular, and they have been taken up by quite a few schools because you've got that kind of interactive nature to it. But at the same time, the pre-recorded side of things has been popular as well because I think it gives the teachers the kind of flexibility, and we have tried to make sure we're offering both of those things.
Yeah, and it's good to be able to send those over as well, because I've had quite a lot of teachers who are using the pre-recorded assemblies to use on the school website, but also to send out to parents as well.
Yeah,
so if
really
they've played the pre-recorded assembly in school and the students are going home to parents, the parents can see what it is that they're being engaged with as well. So it has been really useful.
Yeah, great. Chris, have you got anything to add there?
Yeah, firstly, I'd just like to sort of thank our teachers for keeping up the communication. To be fair, like in such a difficult time, we understand the pressures, through working in education. So, the fact that our staff who we communicate with have been so willing to have them conversations is an absolute blessing for us. So, I just want to thank them for that before I go into anything else. And I guess the other part is similar to Katie, just in terms of emails. I found myself during lockdown though, wanting to get on the phone just so I can have a bit of conversation. So with some of these staff, I would actually just phone them, and we'll have a general chat about how we were getting on, how we were doing, whilst always being positive and anticipating some events in the future. Not all of those events have gone ahead, but I'm finding I'm getting asked for. I suppose it goes in trends. Earlier on in the first part of half term, I was getting asked for pre-recorded assemblies, whereas now I'm booking in a lot more live assemblies. So it seems to be going in trends where, I think school staff are maybe seeing that they've got a bit more time or how they can fit around PSHE, and they now have an ability to sort of facilitate a live assembly.
Yeah. And
whereas maybe before half term, they didn't really have that idea. So a pre-recorded one was a little bit more adaptable, if you like. So yeah, I think those are the things that I've been asked for mainly, as well as sort of like asking for any sort of literature. So our course guides have still been getting asked for, so they've been getting posted out or delivered.
Yeah.
But yeah, just those things really, I suppose.
Yeah, hot off the press and stop the press. A new course guide is due at the end of this month. So if you do still want to call any course guides, please just get in contact with one of us and we'll gladly send you those out. Quite exciting this year, the PDF version has actually got clickable links on it and links to videos and stuff. So it makes it even more exciting than usual. So keep a lookout for that. Kat?
Very similar. Again, just to confirm what Chris said there. A great shout out to all of the teachers in our schools. How grateful we are. I think that that sort of first term, that pre-recorded content that we had was very useful for them, because the messages that I was getting back from many of the teachers were, there was lots of people off sick or isolating because of the situation we're currently in. So having that flexibility to use the pre-recorded content was very good for them. You know, if they were isolating groups of students, again, it was something that they could use in a virtual and different way. So I think that was really useful. And I think now that things, not saying they're settling down, but I think now the schools are in a much more you know, a better routine of how things are working out, and we are getting those requests through for, you know, more live campus tours, you know, live assemblies and things like that. So that's been really good. And we have got a couple of actual physical face-to-face events coming up this month. We're all very excited to be getting out of those. So
Katie's going to Jarrow next week.
yeah,
She's put an order in for our lunch.
yeah. And it's a great shout out to Ponteland High that Chris and I are going to, which is even more exciting because they have a new school build. So it'll be lovely to be able to see that as well. So so yeah, but what I have to say is everything that we have sent out, and you guys will probably agree, just, you know, the teachers might respond very quickly with it. I'm sorry I haven't been in touch, but thank you. And that's been really lovely, you know, all of the communications we've sent out. They are very grateful that, you know, we have kept in touch with them and kept them up to date. And like you say, whether they're passing them on to their people to put on websites or, you know, parents and things like that, has been really nice feedback. As well.
Yeah, well said. Yeah.
And just to add to that as well, I forgot to mention it. Over the summer, when kind of lockdowns slightly kind of lifted and we weren't allowed to be back on campus, we had a lot of tours. So we had a lot of emails from careers advisors from the councils and things like that. So kind of a big shout out to them as well for for keeping in contact and for sending young people into college and have them supported in the way that they needed to be supported. So, you know, we did quite a lot of tours over the summer, didn't we? We did, I would say, probably close to 30, if not more. You know, and there were socially distanced tours around the buildings, and they were of massive value to students. And you know, that was a service that we offered, and you know, it was really popular. So obviously, just want to obviously thank those staff who, you know, sent those young people in as well, because we didn't mention those, I don't think, when we were sort of probably focused more on the school staff. So yeah, thank you to the career staff as well from Connections and other places.
Yeah. So other things were things like you know, we've sent out some electronic resources like posters and screensavers, which have been quite popular. There's one we sent out, well, it's going out at the moment quite recently, is a screensaver for the open events, which has gone down quite well. You know, especially when some of the teachers kind of reminded me that a lot of the students at the moment can't actually go from one corridor to the next, so aren't actually going to see their careers board, which made me kind of think, oh yeah, maybe I need to not just send posters out and do it a different way. So that was good. And we also done quite a bit of a one-to-one advice via telephone or email, and that's just from, you know, either careers staff or careers advisors getting in touch with us, or even parents or young people as well, just for that kind of advice as well. So yeah. So in terms of new ways of working, at first it was a bit, I think it covered quite a lot of this, but like at first it was a bit of a guessing game about how much we could still do physically and how much could be done virtually. And it's become apparent over the last few months that different schools would need different things. Is there anything in particular you've been involved in, you know, that you wanted to like talk more about? For example, you know, I talked a bit about me like being a bit happier on screen doing the video side of stuff. Anything else?
I think I was involved quite a lot in the setup of the virtual open day, which, you know, certainly, you know, it doesn't replace a face-to-face open day. We all know how important those are, and you know, we to get back to that at some point. However, you know, setting up that virtual open day as an alternative was, you know, it was really interesting, and it was a good way of keeping in touch with all of the curriculum staff. You know, just getting content from them about, you know, their courses, asking them to do little talking heads videos and things like that. So that has been really interesting for me to be involved in, and it's good that we have got that platform that can be used on that traditional first Wednesday of the month, because that's what we're historically known for, and just to be able to open that up for people to come and talk to us, like you say, Bill, whether that's a video call, whether it's a live chat or any other way, it has been, quite interesting to be involved in.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Anybody else want to add anything to that?
I think what I've enjoyed, what we're in the basis of planning and what we practiced over the summer was the live tours. So as we mentioned, I think Kate, you mentioned it before about having, we have groups on campus often, it could be a group of year 11s, a group of year 10s who are doing taster activities. And for obvious reasons, that hasn't been able to happen. But what we've done as a team is practiced those live sort of Teams calls tour, where we're going to, we're situating ourselves around the campus, and we're still able to kind of provide that sort of service that young people will get to see the facilities in some way. And it has to be this way for the time being. But what I think's been massively positive from sort of our team is the willingness to adapt. And like you were saying, Bill, about not liking the sort of video content and stuff, or not being comfortable with it. Whereas now we've all sort of lent on each other a little bit for that, because we've all felt a little bit it's been a bit alien talking to a camera when no one's behind it and stuff. It just isn't a thing for me. So, we've all felt that, and I think that's what's been really good about us, is the willingness to adapt between the team and sort of share those strengths. I think that's been a real quality, and it's certainly helped me feel, much more confident and comfortable with, presenting to a camera when no one's behind it. So it's been, I think that, it's been tough, but those live tours that we've been planning, that we're offering, are something that I'm really excited about, because I've never done one like properly before, and I think we've got a few of those booked in. So those are something I'm really excited to be involved in, and I've been happy to help plan. So
yeah, great. Yeah.
I think just touching on that as well, obviously you talk about the live tours. Obviously we need to do a bit more pre-recorded stuff. So what we did over the summer is record some videos that showcases our facilities as well. So just to help all those students that weren't able to come onto campus, we thought, well, why don't we make some videos of the different buildings that we've got around campus, including our satellite sites as well. So I think that's been really exciting for us. Again, we've all learned something new during that process, whether it be in front of camera, behind camera, directing, writing scripts, editing the video. We've all kind of adapted really well to that. And those videos, I think, I'm really proud of them. I'm guessing you guys are really proud of them as well. And they're all on YouTube. So we've been sending those out to our school contacts as well, so everybody can access them. But they're being updated even now. So we've got a video day planned up at the Aviation Academy. Is it next week, Pat?
Week after.
Week after, 2 weeks time, where we're going to be filming up at the Aviation Academy. So again, constantly adding to the bank of resources that we can use.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, and ring that bell.
Yeah.
Right. Make sure you do. Right. In terms of moving forward, obviously, I think there is a hope that by this time next year, things might be back to some sort of normal again. But I think it's probably realistic to assume that not everything will be. And some of the things that the schools and organisations have been asking for, and that we've been producing and delivering over the last few months, I think will be really useful going forward. So is there anything we've already kind of talked about, or anything else that you want to mention that you think you could see us taking forward and building upon in years to come? Anyone?
I think probably I think the relationships that we have with schools, I think we have good, strong relationships with schools and community providers, or all of the stakeholders. I think they'll only get better because actually everyone's in the same boat. We're all feeling the pressures. We're all in a situation where we can't really see the end yet. And I think because of that, we've all created new ways of working and new ways of learning. Whether it's a student or whatever, it's all new for everybody. So I think that what we'll continue on with and what we will carry forward is those strong relationships. And they can only get stronger based on the levels of support we provide each other. So yeah, that's probably what I think we'll take forward and learn with and from.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Anyone else? So like anything you can see as like building upon, I suppose, like I quite like the idea of the fact that we have got all this kind of resource of kind of video content and other things now, which can kind of like add to what we offer. So hopefully in the future, as well as being able to go in and deliver face-to-face workshops with students, we'll actually be able to then kind of like then support that with extra I suppose resources and information that teachers can share with their students, whenever's convenient for them. So it's almost kind of like supporting, that information that the students are receiving already, so they can build up a better picture about whether or not our college is right for them, or whether or not a different learning provider. But it's all good kind of information for the young people and the students. Mm-hmm.
I think the virtual world is quite a supportive platform for young people. For those who, we meet them very often, who are very anxious about coming to college, and I think that kind of content and material as a first glance to break down some of those barriers is really, really useful. So for them to maybe see a video of a building of where they might want to study before they actually come for a visit is a really good supportive tool, because they can almost then visualize, okay, that's where I'll be, that's who I'm going to meet, and things like that. And I think that's going to be really useful in the future. The video that Bill, yourself and Chris did with the walk from Central Station to college, really useful stuff, because on the virtual open day, that then were some of the questions I was getting from young people. I'd love to come, but I don't know how to get there. I live, in Hortonley Spring. I'm not sure how to get to you. So that kind of stuff is, I don't think we'll ever not need it again. It's been a real big learning curve, but it's really going to support all of the great face-to-face advice and guidance that we also give.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Right. So now we've got our next section is our question section. Okay. So a couple of days ago, I put out on Twitter a question, which was if you have an opinion about how things are different, positives or negatives, in terms of careers or progression, advice and guidance since March, we'd love to hear from you. And our good friend Ian Yarrow from the Northumberland Career Service got in touch. Thanks, Ian. And basically got in touch with this particular opinion. So he put, just my opinion here, Bill. I feel CIAG has become a very splintered profession. Do positives outweigh the negatives? Plus, competition is good for the marketplace and should drive progression. Minus, organisations or individuals don't know what to choose, and some isn't good. So really, I suppose he's saying that the pluses are that competition is good for the marketplace, and the minuses are everyone sometimes maybe doesn't know what to choose from. Maybe there's too much choice. Has anyone got an opinion on any of that?
I would agree. I think that I suppose healthy competition gives more option, and the more option young people have, the better that choice will be. So I think so long as the young people see the options that are available to them, then I think that's better for the young person. It's better for for them to make the right decision about their future, and whatever that might be, whichever college that might be, whichever provider, apprenticeship, sixth form, whatever it is.
Yeah. So
long as they've made the best choice for them, and we're able to, as this college, as other colleges, in our friendly competition, at our career fairs and things, if we're able to provide them with those choices, and they go on to make the best choice for them, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. Shout out to the Gateshead College massive there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all our friends at all the other learning providers as well. Yeah, right. Thanks, Ian, for that. And for our next podcast, I'll be sending out tweets beforehand. So if you want to get in touch, we're happy to discuss, your ideas or answer any questions you might have. So please get in touch with us there. Right. So before we have our final words, I just wanted to say that we have got plans to do more of these podcasts over this academic year, and we're going to try and make them quite appropriate to the time of year. So, for example, in spring, we're hoping to do a podcast about apprenticeships and applying for apprenticeships, nearer to the summer, we're hoping to do one on what young people would need for a art and design portfolio check. So that's the kind of thing we're thinking of. But again, if you can think of anything that you think might be useful for you to find out more about or for us to discuss, again, please get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
So final words. Right. Is there anything anyone wants to say before we finish?
Yeah, I think for me, I just wanted to say thank you to all of the contacts that I have personally. So teachers within schools and professionals within organisations who I've been in regular contact with, especially even more so since the first lockdown. You're all working with young people. We're all wanting to get the best for these young people, and just seeing us all work together. It's been really nice. So just a big thank you from me.
Yeah. Great. Good. Yeah.
I would like to thank our staff. We all understand the pressures of working in education, and I think our staff have been fantastic. And I suppose to provide some examples of what that fantastic looks like, would be the support they've given us. So we've generated loads of ideas, and we've gone out there to staff, but the staff have to then accept those ideas and work with us to provide those ideas. They're the ones with that knowledge. So the fact that we've had promotional videos sent to us, the fact that we've been recording stuff in one-to-one interviews, that they have to do that whilst doing remote learning. For all these other things that they're doing, they've supported us. And I suppose without that, we couldn't really support the students in the schools the way we do. And we couldn't do the things that we're doing. So I suppose for me, I just want to thank our staff for being massively supportive.
Yeah.
And working collectively for the ultimate goal of giving the best opportunities to the young people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Right. So, if anyone would like to get in touch, we've got a education partnerships microsite going live on the new Newcastle College website very soon, and there's more information about what we can offer and what we do there. You can also email us education.partnerships@ncl-coll.ac.uk. And it might be that when Katie edits this video, she could put that at the bottom of the screen there.
Yeah.
Or you can tweet us at Katie.
My Twitter handle is @NCLKEM.
Chris.
@NCL Chris B.
Kat.
@NCL Catherine.
And me @NCL Bill T. Okay, so we're on there quite a lot, kind of like seeing what schools and people are up to and getting ideas from you. We're also posting quite a lot of content on there ourselves, so please keep in touch with us that way as well. We'd love to hear from you. We want to work with you as much as we can, so please keep in touch with us. And it's been a really nice conversation, guys, so thanks very much.
Thanks.
Thank
See
you.
you later.
Bye.
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 Right, okay, we'll edit it there, that's fine.